5 sequence of events are illustrated in the chart. Number 1 event has already been fulfilled. It is called the first coming of Christ, or what we now know as the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus. Number 2 is the church age. That's where we are right now. We are living in the church age. The age between the coming of Christ the first time and the coming of Christ the second time. Number 3 event is a future event called the rapture. The rapture is when Jesus comes down from heaven, but he doesn't come all the way to the earth. Believers or followers of Jesus will be caught up in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and then they're gonna go back to heaven with Jesus in the rapture. After the rapture is the 4th event called the tribulation. It is a period of 7 years of great tribulation that will take place on earth. At the end of the 7 years tribulation, the 5th event takes place, the second coming of Christ. As we view this chart, we can discern right away that the rapture and the second coming of Christ are 2 distinct and separate events. The rapture is when Jesus comes back to take his people back to heaven with him. When we say his people, it is referring to the church. That is why it is called the rapture of the church. The word rapture means caught up, and the church comprises all Christians or all Jesus followers. All Jesus believers, or they may interchangeably be called the saints, the elect, God's chosen one. By simplicity and to make it plain and understandable, when Jesus returns in the rapture, all his followers will be caught up and gathered up in the clouds to meet him in the air. Afterwards they're gonna go back to heaven with Jesus when the rapture takes place. In this event, all Jesus followers who are alive at that time will not experience death, but their mortal bodies will be transformed into immortal and incorruptible bodies. Bodies that will never die, to conform into a glorified bodies like Jesus. When this event takes place, first to be transformed are Jesus followers who have already died. Their dead bodies from the grave will be transformed into a glorified bodies, and after them, we who are alive and remain will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. Afterwards they will all be transported to heaven with Jesus when the rapture takes place.